seconds where we see nuked would be a bit ridiculous, but I don't, at this point, doubt that that's a possibility. We'll have to see how everything does shape up. Only one of us can be right as to our prediction, so there was only two possible outcomes. Either Fierce finish this series off 2-0, or London force a third map. Fierce will be starting on the CT side. This is their pick, respectively. And a good amount of utility available for them. Interestingly enough that they actually start on the CT side, considering the favorite in the map pick. But in spite of all that, the setup early on is fantastic from Fierce. The bait and switch between Ramp and that up-close position from Dom, but the rapid kills there from London. They deal with so many players in the rotation. Stanley's left all alone.
Yeah, good stuff here. 2v1 in favour of London Esports on their map pick. T-side going to get things started here with a bomb plant down. Stanley, how are you going to retake this one? No defuse kit, no Kevlar is playing utility for this one, opening up the double doors, and now Mezzi knows how to respond. Headshot's going to get missed against Fraser, try them around that corner. Now look where the two players are, and Mezzi will eventually close it out. 4 kills for him. What a recovery from London Esports. It started off so well with Fierce just taking the early control and taking dominating fashion, but in the end, the Glocks were able to return, and Mezzi in particular was able to return. 4 frags already in this one. It's a very impressive start for London.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I got the map picks mixed up, but either way, these two teams are very similarly skilled on both respective map picks, so there is a bit of confidence being brought forward in the fact that London are able to win back the round in such a manner. In spite of the early picks found by Fierce, it will be the pistols brought into this following round. Presence made towards Secret. They're already establishing some control over towards that lower site, but Fierce have already read into this. They've got the rotations available. They should be able to segment these players off. I think the issue is that there's so many SMGs they have to deal with, no armor available as well, that this is really going to be a field day for those guns.
A 2v5 scenario. Adam close, deals with Stanley. Astro, the last man left, 1v5. Could deny his bomb plant. Okay, that's a good headshot. But I don't think he'll get much more than that done. Yeah, Link out on the ramp position. Finishing off the job for London Esports. And the standard pistol conversion going their way. And now Fierce here. Off the back of that eco, will invest into the M4s, into the AUGs. No AWP this time. No bomb plant, obviously. It's a CT side, so there's no extra economical boost to that side. But limited utility sets as standard here for Fierce. London Esports in with the 2 Mac 10s to deal with. A lot of the players that don't have any head Kevlar. Actually, I say a lot, but actually only 2 players have no head Kevlar for Fierce. So there's only 2 players that can be exploited by Link and Adam. Everybody else have to suffer at the hands of the AK-47, which is the most important thing right here for the London Esports side. They've got that firepower, and they'll play passively this time, not even taking a lot of lobby control. Cray will make his way forward and try and prod in towards the hut, try prodding towards another part of the bomb site. And the London squad will start to make their way into A. Adam, first contact around this corner. It will be Eccles, and he just gets shut down. There's the one-shot headshot. Head Kevlar, hurting this time. Asher also going to face in against Adam, who's ready to take a secondary kill. And in the end, the bomb will go down to 5-4.
Still trying to find an avenue attack back in towards this site, but they're actually going to back themselves away. No kit available on any of these respective players. It's going to be the save call from Fierce. Just the one entry on that A site is all that it took, and they respect London enough to be able to hold things down in the after plant. They couldn't have possibly known where they could have positioned as well in some of those post-plant positions, and so holding onto the weaponry for a following round. They get caught off guard in this instance. They won't allow that same mistake, I imagine, to come through again. And it comes to fruition, right? That one instance that we talk about with the SMGs, the lack of head armor on the side of Eccles, he's entered very quickly by Adam as a result of that.
Yeah, I mean, nicely done from Adam in his case. I mean, you know, again, just a quick hit comes out, recognizing the fact that there's probably not a lot of head Kevlar on the Fierce side, and caught out one of the only 2 players that didn't have the head Kevlar. And Fierce, off losing that one, will go for the 5-on-4 save, which again is also very smart, because now that allows their loss bonus to keep building up. That means they can buy here. Buy down a little bit harder than you usually expect, but max loss bonus in the next round might be able to force the issue with a couple of weapons, a couple of players on some decent weaponry. So far for London, though, it has been a very confident start in this one, and their confidence just continues to build. Mezzi straight up the heart, second headshot as well on Eccles. And instantly the A site is under their control. Astro can't go any further than Heaven as London dominating so far on T side. It looks completely flawless. I mean, it actually is 2 points of damage on Adam. Barely any sort of force being held up by Fierce.
Again, another save call here from that CT side. If they're going to call it in the 4 versus 5, they're more than likely in the 3v5. And holding on to all that utility for that CT side is going to be a bit of an additional bonus here for them. That means they can drop some weapons over to the likes of Eccles and Stanley should they hold on to these guns respectively. London aren't hunting too aggressively either, but it will be Adam to try and chase them down. At range with the MAC-10 though, it's not seeming too likely. He should have the crossfire setup as well. Astra will spot the first player out, a flash will come through. He should be able to deal with Adam. Yeah, there it is. They should secure their exit off the back of that. Oh, but no, Dom goes for the face, and that's a weapon denied out of the Fear's hands.
Means a few limited options as a result. Possibly could have got that AWP. Actually, they will still get the AWP out on Astra, actually, so
you
scratch
talked about
that.
the loss bonus, right? I mean, that's accumulated for the Fear's roster. That allows them that AWP.
But they could have offered up a little bit more utility. You see, there's a couple of players that are limited on the utility sets. They still do get the full buy up. The fact that they lost that one rifle means that more investment has to come through on rebuying the main weapon for the CT forces. And London don't have to worry about any of those reinvestments. They have saved round after round, keeping so many players in check and so many rifles in play from so many rounds ago. You know, it's been only the first 4 rounds, and London taking all of them. Fierce suffering very heavily to the London, the quick hits coming out from London Esports. I guess they're taking a little bit of a leaf out of the buzzkill late playbook, because it's looked so effective, so efficient from those boys. Quick hit towards the A site. This time will be denied as Stanley has a nice line in towards the squeaky door area. We'll face the second time and get taken back by Link at the very least, a 2-1 trade. But it's a man advantage for the Fierce side and make it 3 in fact. Link, last man standing, can't get the spray on the man outside.
Great supportive flashbang there from Eccles to allow Stanley a secondary kill. Even though he gets Molotov out of position, he has so much effectiveness from that far event that Fierce are able to shut things down from there. London, limited amounts of utility off the back of that, and unable to establish trades and enough of a foothold on that A side that made things really too much of a contest there for that CT side. Instead, Fierce, like you said, getting their first registered in their name, and now this is in London's camp. They have built up quite a bit of bank, and so we'll still have a significant portion of residual cash going into the following rounds, should this be another Fierce defense. Smokes will come out outside as well to feign aggression towards that lower side. They at least have this player in Fry that should be able to lock things down, relay information, as he should be able to hear these players progress in towards Secret, but I'm still making slow progress. That Molotov will prevent them from going much further, and the nade damage is fairly significant onto that London roster. About 30 damage overall to those players moving slowly. No sudden moves just yet. No adaptation from the Fierce roster altogether. Dom is the only player really to commit towards that lower site.
5-on-5 still, no major kills. A little bit of damage coming in against the T side, but that's not much to speak for. They can still turn this whole situation around. The real talking point for Fierce is the fact that they have got B site control. Dom alone. Rotations coming in as Fraser does open things up. I think that was towards the outside. Not really too sure. Either way, it is an opening frag, and Astra will turn back around with the OWP kill of his own right. Dom's position is known. He still gets a kill on Link. Traded back by Creator 3-on-3. And Astra can't quite find a line back into the bomb site directly. Inches away from seeing Mezzi's head. Mezzi will make his way up the ramp as a result. Around this corner, nades in against the bomb plant position. We'll tag Creator 75, but no one's watching this other side door. Flash in, spots Fry, but Fry gets the kill. 19 HP on the spray, barely winning it out. And Fierce have the man advantage to come into this one. Fraser has no idea the backstab's coming in as well. The AK will deal with the AWP, and it's all left to Cray. A standout player, one of the best that we have in the UK. He'll look for a spray on Astro, but it's not going to happen. 2 kills for him, and Fierce claim a second.
It's a retake situation this time for Fierce. It's a lower bomb site, but still they find success, a second in a row. And although London had a nice string of rounds to start things off, a bit of a resurgence here. A couple of pretty interesting and pretty easy initial frags there for the Fierce defense, and the fact that they're able to get that advantage and continue pushing forward, although it gets a little bit close, and there was an opportunity, I think, for Mezzi to really push that in London's favor. They adapt, they find the picks necessary, and maybe just not plugging up as many of these flanking positions as they once thought in the after plan. London still able to afford up a buy. I'd mentioned that they'd accrued a bit of additional cash outside of the previous gun round, but this time it seems like they're setting up for an A-side execute, just posturing up outside of the hut, waiting for some sort of a different play here from that CT side. Fierce have done a pretty good job in the past of adapting in terms of their CT-sided setups, but never getting too aggressive.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you don't want to do against London Esports, because they've been known to punish aggression. You know, they held their own against Buzzkill on their T side when they went for those rushes. I haven't seen many backstab plays or outside pushes coming in from the Fierce side, but we'll talk about that in a second because the hits coming through, and they are dismantling London Esports. 4 kills, completely untraded, barely enough damage done to Eccles and Stanley to justify a decent trade of Cray. Flashbangs in They know where he is. They will face, and Eccles will end off with a nice 2K. What a defensive from the Fierce side. I mean, they clearly know what their strengths are. They clearly recognize the fact that London Esports will be happy to go aggressive. They're probably going to recognize the fact that London Esports are going to be ready for the aggressive forces. So why bother? Just sit back, relax, wait until the hit comes through, and then focus on getting the defensive together. And, you know, when you're getting 5 players out of a round like that with a quick hit coming through from a coordinated London Esports side, there's no need to change it up. It's London the guys that have to change things up and force the issue because the executes are just not quite working out.
I've been really impressed by Eccles throughout this entire tournament. I think the fact that he's been able to double up alongside the likes of Fry, and this time, in this instance, it's going to be Stanley that really locks down that A-bomb site. We saw how successful they were on Inferno on B as well. Eccles was instrumental in bringing the map even close, although they were edged out eventually by Endpoint. It is something that is it's a great attribute to have as a player on that CT side if you're able to adapt and play off your other teammates in spite of not having that traditional anchor or duo setup that you maybe have on each respective map. Often partnering up and having a man holding your hand, strolling down the block and locking down your bomb sites, but London now just on pistols in this round, trying to get as much damage accomplished as they could, as they suffered, they really struggled to get a single casualty on that previous round. Messi gonna find more success in this one. The Deagle headshot towards Fry to start things off.
Yeah, dropped in Seek, very nice position to be held, but in the end, London Esports trump him. Again, those deadly pistols. London, other than that, not a whole lot of Kevlar, so any kills that they can get at this stage. If they get a third, they buy themselves a chance. Sorry, if they get themselves a second, excuse me, they buy themselves a chance at really getting the round under their control. But Astro will trade back on Fraser. And Link will watch out the angle, hoping to catch another quick headshot. Not going to happen for both sides, as both players trade bullets, but do not get the kills. As London play uber carefully once again. Uber passive. The bomb will get picked up by Link, and then she rotate back over to the lobby position. It looks like it's going to be an A hit. Players in Squeaky, Adam not open up the door. Nice hole in the door, maybe able to spot someone, but not to be in this case. As a decision has been made. Smokes up, they respond to it. Eccles, 2 players spotted. Brown the first. Stanley will go down. Actually, they do trade back on Eccles, so 3v2. 2v2 suddenly. They might be able to force a bomb plant out of this, because both CTs coming in are not in the ideal positions for a retake, and Astro can't deny his bomb plant. So that's round success already. 3 kills plus a bomb plant. Cash injection versus taking economy away from Fierce. It's already a good round.
And potentially the way of winning this as well. There's limited amounts of utility for Astro and Doma. Some pretty strong post plants held by the likes of London Esports. They double up together and making sure that they can trade off one another successfully. Astro's going to be the first point of contact, but there's Dom finding the kill in towards Link. Now the hut position is the most likely there for Messi, but as he taps the one, he tries to catch Astro off guard. They'll double up, go for the double swing, and Dom even through the edge of the wall takes down Messi. Doesn't even give him the opportunity to shoot back. And although the defuses come out in the last sort of 10 seconds there from Fierce, it's procedural from the last 2 players.
Yeah, again, you know, London Esports, they lost that retake. That's fine. They done so much damage to Fierce. They got themselves a bomb plant, so the economy is going to be bolstered. They buy up confidently with the 4 AKs getting all Kevlar, all coming up with full sets of utility and everything. So London Esports in prime position. Fierce, however, they got a couple of high rollers. Astro on 9,000, Dom on 7,000, Fry on 6,000. So they can probably drop some rifles and go for another buy in the next round if they lose it, but that means the economy will be close to reset. 5-on-4 is a nice start again from Astro out towards the main position, blocking off the squeaky rush coming through from the London Esports side. Adam trying to go for that vent dive that he's been known to do, obviously. We saw him do that a lot yesterday and he had a lot of success out of it. Fierce will not allow him to strike as the T is getting ramp room control.
Astro's moved around as well to cover off that position in towards Hell, make sure that London not going to go for a flank over towards the A-bomb side, maybe even flank out those outside defenders. But now they have to re-clear every bit of, or every cubby, nook and cranny in towards lobby just to make sure that there hasn't been a bit more ground established here from the Fierce roster. Smokes deployed as well to delay and deny information here for that T side, and we actually see themselves setting up for a couple of smokes and potential flashes in through the skylight. Stanley has a lot on his plate here as these players will begin to funnel his direction.
Oh, what a peek from Fraser. And now Eccles holds in front of the defensive. Link will turn it back around. Fry will get a trade back through the end of the smoke. Catch Messi with a double kill on for the triple kill of Fraser. You thought that AWP shot was impressive. That sequence was even better. Fry forcing Fierce up to a lead. I mean, even getting credit for his own opponents right there. London Esports. You can't not be impressed with that one. So well done. And that means Fierce again are going to get the lead out here on the CT side. London suffering quite a bit as a result of again, the economy state. You know, they're dropping a couple of those rifles, but you can see the money just isn't quite there. 3 AKs, Mac 10 Deagle. A rush out towards the outside position. The AWP ready to cut them off, but it's smoked up towards Secret, and Adam will just barely try and see if he can cross Stanley. Not going to time this well either. They will rotate and go towards Secret. Nice incendiary to block them off for a couple of moments' time, but London will still break through.
They should be able to get themselves down momentarily. London, no real lurking presence or any sort of player just to run distraction, make sure that Fierce can't have all the information that they are down in this position. It's fairly easy read from that Fierce roster so far. A Molotov, it's timely, and the counter nade as well to try and do some additional damage to these encroaching players. Kraze dealt with the rotating player. It's suddenly onto Dom. He at least has a little bit of support coming in from the ramp momentarily in Astro, but he'll get Molotoved and smoked off. He can't really contribute all that much, and Dom, will his position go unchecked? That's going to be a crucial question as Astro, he gets the player up high, Link deals with Dom, and suddenly they should be able to get this bomb planted on the London side.
The HP differential is so massive for Fierce. Get those trades easily on Link and FaZe when you've got a very exposed Mezzy and Cray who might not be able to do the damage. They'll take it carefully though, they'll take it slow. They've got HP and man advantage. Now for London Esports, turned away by Eccles. Cray goes down, Mezzy gets a trade back. And Astro and Fry both out towards the ramp position. Can't quite find their angles inland. AWP, oh, the timing's so terrible. Mezzy crossed a perfect chance. And the CTs can't gain a man advantage. Time ticks way too far. They're going to have to concede in this one. Save their AWP, save their AUG. London will save their AKs. Can't quite grab the AWP that they dropped earlier, so...
Is Link dead?
He might be. No, hold on, no, not... You don't get any damage to Secret, my bad. He'll be fine, don't worry.
Yeah.
5-5 on the board. And Fierce finally returned against the round on the London side.
I find it very hard to gauge now how much the bomb damage does ever since it was reduced as a result of Vertigo coming into the pool. 25 damage.
I think it's only for Vertigo that's been reduced to. I think it's still the same for the other maps.
That would be a bit odd to me, but I don't know. That's a question for my own right. A lack of knowledge in my regard, but London doing a good job of at least keeping things level between these two teams. As soon as Fierce get an early advantage, get themselves up to run number 5, London answer right back. But this round, Fierce have gotten a crucial set of double kills outside. And, oh, a fantastic response from Fraser. He gets both players that got those early advantages for the Fierce roster. And they're actually going to get this bomb planted on A.
Yeah, combining alongside Adam to get the 3v2. The AWP up here for Astro. Peeking is another good shot, but Adam returns fire all the same. It's now one player left in Dom. How is he going to pull this one out of the hat? It's flashbangs in towards main. Will not be spotted, will not give up the ghost until eventually he peeks back in. And Adam right around his corner, so carefully played. He jumps face and spot him. And Dom right around his corner will get Fraser. 1v1 now. But the defuse kit in play. He's got to try and find Adam close and quick. Taps it once, try to force the issue on the peak right there. Spots him, taps up, but Adam peeks away. I think he's just done enough just in time. Indeed, he has. The bomb will go up. It looks like Adam will go up with it. No, Dom will go down. And it will be a 7th on the board for London Esports.
A string of 4 rounds at the start of this game for London. A string of 5 from Fierce, but now 2 in a row from that T side mean that they should have done significant damage here to that CT side economy. You could see some of the shortcomings in this round. The SMG is out for Dom. The AUGs are certainly in play, but we'll be missing out on smoke on Astro's side. Early utility deployed towards outside, but London are playing in front of these smokes. They're looking to wrap in towards A, and the flash is good. It's going to go in towards Stanley. Link finding the entry. Fraser following up as well. Dom needs to aggress somewhere on the map to find an advantage back or bring things close, but he spots him out. Adam's going to be able to identify that, and Eccles now has a lot on his plate because the A bomb site is compromised.
5-on-3 scenario. Make it 2. Link quickly downing Dom. Eccles can't deal with Adam. London Esports, another confident round coming through on the T side. And it took a little bit of time before they got themselves back into that confident line of form, but you sort of take a look at the scoreboard and you see how many rounds London Esports have won in a row, and you see that they have these bursts of confidence. And those opening 4 rounds in particular just look so solid from London, as is this one right here. They've suffered a little bit of damage across the T side line, but the end result is still going to be a very good 5-man surviving situation. Build that economy, start to build a lead against the Fierce side. And if they can take a T side half against Fierce, that means that there's a good shout that this map could go well to the favour of London Esports.
Of course, they'll need to win this map to continue out on the series. Fry is able to at least secure his exit there on the AUG, do a little bit more damage to the London side, keep their economy somewhat moderate. But it will be buys nonetheless here from that T side. Fierce, I mean, sure they were able to establish that string of rounds, get pretty convincing rounds at that, but now, like you said, that surge of confidence has come back to that London side, and it seems like because they've gone for this outside play a number of times, played the rounds out slowly, these faster plays in which they're securing main control have been able to catch Fierce out, but this time Stanley's ready for it. He gets the first, not quite able to convert on the second, but he does significant damage.
Oh, nice burst from Eccles, and Astro comes up with a legal shot of his own right. It's a 3 versus 2 for the Fierce side. Make it 1. Astro's got bomb control and everything. And the pistols, the eco, are going to come up good for the CTs. Fraser in main, not looking for his direction. The timing was terrible for him. And it'll be another one for Fierce. Just when you thought London Esports has started to look confident right there, they went in very aggressively. And again, the same sort of confident style as they just rushed straight into the bomb site. But Fierce had their number. It seemed like they read the position so perfectly. Got all the headshots they needed at the right times.
But it's interesting because we made the comment before this game, this map got started, that London, their indecisiveness on train really cost them in a couple of rounds, right? That not committing early on, not going in confidently, and taking those sites was what potentially lost them a crucial round at a crucial moment that could have swung things back into their favor. But this greater decisiveness is at least good to see. On a map like Nuke as well, where rotations are so quick on both sides of the map, it's a lot easier to establish dominance if you're able to make those rotations and cut those players off on those rotations.
Oh, Fry. Nice nade in as he takes first face against Link, tags him just 34 points of help. Dom's also quick to the scene to respond here to the B site hit coming through from the London Esports side. 2 players line up, but Dom doesn't get any of them. Fry going up towards the control room, spots out Craig, sprays his head off his shoulders. And the bomb plant can come through for London Esports, but again, it's a HP advantage for the Fierce side as they look on angle. Flashbang is evaded by the AWP. Fry still looking towards double doors. Astro got no vision as Stanley starts to make his move inland out to the bomb site. Flashes over again, will not catch him off guard. It's the second one thrown by Fraser. He's got nothing left to use. And flashes in, will finally blind him. 2 players spotted, and the burst from Stanley opens up the retake here for the CT side. Link tries to hold on, but only does for so long. And Mezzy got a nice line into the bomb site. He gets the tail on the first man. Does damage to Astro's second face. He could line them both up. He's not going to take the spray. He gets the second and the third! Mezzy barely holds on for London Esports as they get the 8th and the half.
Lining it up perfectly through the smoke. It's Mezzy knocking every single player down. After the first one, you'd think he maybe mistimes or misaligns the lineup, but he's got it down to a T. That is perfect from him in the post plant. In spite of the smoke, in spite of the utility deployed from Fierce. And that's at least the half victory secured for London. A timeout will be called. It's going to be talking over what just happened, taking a breather, and maybe approaching this in a different way for London. As Fierce, they're looking to make at least the 7th round a success. I mean, the CT side, it's still certainly more favored on Nuke, but we've seen a lot more of these successful T sides at this tournament.
And on Nuke as well. I mean,
yeah.
You know, again, it is a more balanced map compared to the previous version, but you know, still, I mean, I'll get back to that in a second. Looks like London are going to go very quickly into this one. No, it's just a vent dive for Adam. And how many times has he worked this whole position to a T right here? Dom's already expecting it. Like, that's how notorious it really is. Out to double doors, ready in case the T side want to go down towards B. Ready for CTs on the rotation if they want to go through the control room or through the double doors and take secret control. That's where he's ready to adjust towards it. Yeah, no, London Esports positions on the map seem to favour the likes of a ramp split here. Fry held back. Have got to deal with him and him alone. If Adam can get himself past, he will bust open the windows and give up his position. As Fry makes his way in, land spots 2 and lines them both up. Looking for Cray with a triple and Mezzy for the quadra. Not happening this time. But Adam still waiting around for the T-side force that will not come. There's 1 player left and 1 man's already on the bomb side. They're going to take face as Mezzy sprays. He goes down. Bomb's been dropped. Adam's completely outpositioned and outgunned.
That is perfect from the likes of Fierce. I mean, Fry, at least knowing that he doesn't need to make the adaptation, doesn't need to rotate away because Dom has him covered, has that entire site of that B-bomb site. And the flank is at least not a non-issue for him. So he just holds strong at ramp, gets all 3 kills necessary, and at that point it's easy for London to pick up the pieces. Fierce to pick up the pieces. Because now it's going to have to be a T-side offense from Fierce. It is London's map pick. Of course, they are going to be able to go forward in that regard. Or have I got that wrong again? I think it's Fierce's map pick, right? All right.
You got it right the first time.
I'm a confused man.
My God. My God.
In fairness, they swapped rosters. Fierce, London, the players I recognize. Either way, now it's Fierce on the T side. A bit of utility has been thrown. Astro is going to be able to get him and his team down towards Secret. A lot of early pressure. London are there in heavy numbers, though.
Cray around this corner, looks for the first man. Tags up Stanley, gonna look for Asher for the first headshot. Fraser is the man that opens things up with first blood. As Cray draws blood as well. Fraser with a 2K, and Dom and Fry suppressed back to the control room. They're gonna get cleaned up so easily. That is a scary pistol from the CT side, and probably hinting at the idea of what London, what London have to bring to the fold here on this second half.
The SMGs will be brought up in numbers here from that CT side, expecting that it will just be a bit of an eco from the Fierce roster. Of course, we have seen so many of these force buys that it wouldn't put it past them to have that on the cards, but instead, they've read the situation correctly. Mezzi's the first to get a kill on towards Fry, and pressure towards outside. There's a lot of players here on that CT. Aggression, we'll be able to deal with the majority of it. Mezzi is dropped, but Adam makes sure that a gun isn't recovered or received there for the Fierce roster, and it's about as clean as it could have gotten in that instance. A lot of pressure outside, only 2 players really could pick up the pieces for the defensive, and although they lose the 1 player, it's not the end of the world. Now this is an instance where London could start winning rounds or Fierce could start winning rounds on their T side, sorry.
And this will be the chance to start things off here on Fierce's second half. Again, a map up in this series that they can win this one, somehow pull it back against London, be able to win the whole semi-final and move on into the series against Buzzkill coming up a little bit later today. Start here very passive from Fierce, not going to go for overwhelming map control. A couple of times that London went over to the secret position where the smoke's up, but Fierce are not too keen on that at the moment. They'll play slow towards the outside, but contested by Mezzi might be a bit of a problem. That AUG, in order to go to main, they'll be pretty protected by it, but the options are limited by Fierce's lack of utility commitment right now. I imagine they probably will use some to get out the smoke towards Whitecross, potentially go for a quick hit in towards A main. No real support from the lobby position. They might split in eventually, but the smokes will go out towards main instead. And now flash their way in with an execute going on, trying to block out the outside. The smoke does not bloom fast enough though, and Mezzi will take down Dom to begin this round. Fierce slowed the pace down once again. Mezzi finds a second, and Adam close range against Fry. Point blank takes him out. So London Esports reading this play like a book, and Fierce are just crumbling to pieces for it. Stanley will get 1 trade back. It lasts for a second as well on Fraser, so it's a 3v2.
Eccles and Stanley, not much ground really to work with. Although Stanley's been able to get himself in towards Hell, with Eccles being dropped in towards lobby, the bomb dropped in towards main. It's always going to be uncomfortable. They hear all these sound cues as well. The smoke deployed to try and eliminate some of these angles moving forward. Adam, the only player that's able to fight beyond it, but he's uncleared. Stanley doesn't check the angle, and London, they get themselves up to round number 11, a 4-round differential, and so far, a nice start here to that CT side. They deal with the first gun run, and that was really a critical piece. But now it's the the half buy coming out from Fierce, the upgraded pistols, a series of smokes as well. And interesting that we see 3 smokes altogether indicates that they're going to probably go for some sort of a set level here in this round, going instead for the traditional outside smokes just to feign some early pressure.
Yeah, they're going to be up towards the secret position, so all that gap will be covered off alongside the gap towards the garage area. Cray will catch them off over towards the ramp position. I sold them the idea that it is a secret play, but they do get 1 pick for their trouble here, Fierce. Down in the B bomb site is where the real challenge is going to regress, as Dom gets very close to the likes of Mezzi down out towards secret. So AKs get traded back and forth from Fierce, try and find a way to work inland here. They've used all the utility so far. And the bomb yet to commit just yet. I mean, Fierce in general just yet to commit in here as a whole. They've Going a bit back and forth whether they want to go towards B or A. They're looking like they're going to commit towards A site for the moment, but then they go towards locker rooms and they look towards the garage area. And Mezzi will be siphoned off from his teammates, but I imagine that his face may be confident enough against the head Kevlar players, but against the spray from Dom, will go to 49 HP. Are they going to try and aggress him? Are they going to try and shut him down? Flashbang's over, and Stanley does get the CZ shot. Fry will follow up as well to the AK, and Fierce's patience may have just paid off for them.
Yeah, they found a couple of picks, and now Link has a lot on his plate. Fraser will try and make the rotation on through, but this is such a scary place to move up. The nade will give up his position. Fry knows where one of these players is, but Link might just be able to spring on through. They've actually planted the other side of the silos, and Astro, he doesn't actually clear out the angle. Link's equalized the affair, and Stanley from up high can't convert the shots. Fry, he took an initiative play. He pushed through the smoke in towards main and has been able to deal with Fraser as a result. The kit is available for Link, though. Oh, this is ballsy. He's going to try and stick it. Stanley missing the initial shots. Link able to turn around on him. Fry still holding a really good post plant to deal with this. He takes the peek, and he finally puts it to rest there for Fierce. An 8th in the after plant, but it gets a little bit too close for comfort.
Twice. If Link had stuck that bomb twice, then he probably would have been able to get the defuse for London Esports, especially with that CZ kill. That the CZ threw him off, but he missed his shots, and if he had held it down, he would have got the defuse for London Esports. That would have been a 12th. But Fierce finally turning a good round here on T's side. Now that AK is being brought up in confidence against aggressing CT forces of London Esports. One player towards outside, one more in main. They're looking to try and contest the outside of the Fierce squad, at least for the initial places. Not too aggressively. They want to use utility. Counter nades will come back from the CT side as well. So London Esports, bit more of an aggressive stance than Fierce had on their CT side, where they were just playing on the bomb sites and getting ready for the defensives. And this time, we'll try and aggress. Eventually, we'll fall back out at angles. They do give up the outside control to the Fierce squad. They set themselves once again for the same sort of smokes out towards the crosses.
Fraser's a gap to work with, though, and that's a potential issue here for Fierce. The smoke deployed at a convenient enough timing. This time it'll come down at the right moment. Mezzi spamming on through. Fraser's still been able to find a kill, and that's Dom going down towards the end of Garage. Stan is creeping his way up, though. He's trying to find another avenue of attack. We saw him get into flanking positions on Inferno, but only 2 supporting teammates to try and create space for. Position may go unchecked as well. The Shadow gives him up. That's it. Link dealing with the immediate threat, but Fry will chime back through. I think this is a round that's gone out of the hands of Fierce, and as they potentially crunch on towards that A site, it's the MP9s that strike on true, and that's weapons cycled back into the London Esports side. They don't have to invest into rifles as they recover instead the AKs. And Fierce, still only 1 round on the T side of things. 4 out of the 5 here for London.
This is getting dangerously close for London Esports to take control against the Fierce squad. 4 rounds to the map victory and to force us to our final map of this series. 4 smokes out for Fierce, once again going in the half bite. They're going to try and take control of the outside, so same setup again. London might be able to realize that, okay, this is definitely going to be a initial play into outside positions, and they might also be able to realize that it's just pistols on the T side offensive. Astro and Echoes taking first damage. Fire takes out Adam. That's a nice play right there at the very least. AK picked up, but Stanley can't use it. Link takes him down, lines up a couple more. Adam, Fraser, excuse me, comes up with a frag with the AWP. The 3v3 scenario. So much tag damage done to these players on the T side. If Astro can get that bomb plant again, that'd be great for Fierce at this stage. They're only going to have 4 rounds of loss bonus going into this next round. There you go. Plant in, gained by Fierce. London Esports now running in with a utility of their own right. Players coming in from Heaven and the vents areas. As Mezzi goes down, trades back. It's all left to Cray. AK in his hands. He whiffs the spray entirely. Fierce get more than a bomb plant out of that round. They're going to get the round as a whole.
That's gone catastrophically for London. I mean, they're outgunned. They've got the positions to be able to deal with it, but they lose respective duels, and they're not able to plug up the defensive fast enough. Fierce get the bomb planted, and then suddenly the pressure's in London's camp, and that's really, really dangerous. You can't have rounds like that potentially swing the momentum back into your opponent's favor, especially on maps like Nuke. You give them this opportunity whereby they were saving in that round regardless, but now they've got this huge bounce back in the economy.
Yeah, with that bounce back, Fierce could still turn this whole thing around. You know, London Esports have a bit of a difficult buy into this round. You can see there's only 3 rifles, no AWPs. Adam and Cray, Deagle and 5-7. Kevlar across all the players. Headshots are plentiful for Stanley. There's no head Kevlar across the entire CT line. It's 4 AKs to make the to make up the brunt of the force. Fierce. And only 3 rounds separate the lead and the laggers. Out to the outside position initially for Fierce. They're going to go with a quick utility plays once again. They're going to set these up to the secret areas, I imagine. Yep. Garage, cross, close smokes coming through. That way they can get themselves out towards the secret area and just completely uncontested by the AWP up towards heaven. So all 5 players in, looking like it's going to be a B hit initially. London Esports do have 1 man downstairs. That's Cray. Up close and personal with a semi-automatic. Can he get things done?
The first player to take contact here for that Fierce side. A Molotov to flush Cray back. Not spotted out, but anticipating the rotation in towards the lower bomb site. Now they're going to try and track that player down. It'll be jumping over his crosshairs. Cray, who delivers on all 3. That's fantastic from him. Astro and Fry on the bomb site, sure, but they've lost every bit of support, every potential post-plant position. They'll need to fight for control. Fry trapped in towards the back of the site as well, and they have utility to deal with this. A Molotov will come through. Fraser instead deals with Fry, and Astro needs to come back and come up clutch for the side, but he cannot get it done. It's going to be another round here for London. But Cray, what is that?
I've got nothing for that. I've got nothing to... What on earth, Cray? Well, I said the 5-7, I was like, could he get something done up close and personal? I thought maybe, yeah, maybe 1 kill. 2 kills at a stretch.
He got the Observer seal of approval as well.
Exactly, yeah. Dream loves him. Apparently everybody else does too. I mean, certainly the London Esports side will be cheering out his name right now. What a play. 5-7, 4 AKs picked up by London Esports. Fierce.
And we talked about the bounce back of the economy. That's an
exactly. That's one hell of the way to do it right there. Just pick up the enemy's weapons, get extra firepower. It's all good. Fierce, meanwhile, feeling the heat of the smackdown. Because London Esports just decimated them in the B bomb. So I'm not even going to say London Esports. Cray, he got 4 kills. Right, he just destroyed the entire push with a single position and a simple spam without headshots. My God, this is really dire for Fierce right now because London now put themselves in decent position, a lot of weaponry, a lot of firepower. Lineups could come through here towards the ramp control. It's an AK that challenges for it. Cray will stop them going forward as the smokes go down and the Molotovs do get extinguished. Teams will make their way into the B bomb site so far unharmed. Get a bomb plan out of this round. The question is, can they fend off the retake coming in that's been so good from London Esports in the past?
Stanley gets the first kill. Adam playing it and trying to find a gap in the smoke to exploit. The bomb will get planted here for the Fierce side, but this potential angle of attack here from Adam could be devastating. Gets the first one to Fry. The door open. A Link shuts Stan down. Adam as well, finding a second on the retake for the CT side, but Eccles, that could have been huge. He could have gotten the double kill, but it's instead the retake again here from London, this time in full rifle rounds effect. They get to 14, and Fierce, they're on the back foot. They now are in a position where they don't exactly have the economy to buy up every bell and whistle that they want to, every bit of utility. Is this a half buy? Do they allow London up to 15, or do they try and fight back? It's going to be the AKs coming out.
Yeah, they will opt to fight back. Taking a lot of those AKs away from London Esports, forcing the investment on several of them. Again, Fierce have a chance to shut London down here. They can get this round. They can gain potentially 11 to 14, but look at Mezzi. He doesn't want to let anything happen like that. Nays in against them. Flashbangs over. They suspect Red Box might be the play. I think you heard those footsteps. Now Dom's going to face around this corner, but lose the fight. That's the bomb being dropped. Stanley trying to get the trade. Will be able to do so, but Fierce fighting for outside control, let alone bomb site control. And the nade, perfect from Fraser. It doesn't quite land on the Stanley and do a lot of damage, but it's half of his HP done already with Fierce. Working in the outside position, still trying something and get a 4v4 to their favor. I'm going to fall back over to the lobby and try set up and execute potentially.
Not much ground being taken in response here from the London Esports side. It could have gone a lot better there for Mezzi, getting the 1 kill and the potential to fall back, but he was tracked down in the end. And well, that was information relayed. Now they have little to no information to work off of. London haven't really plugged up the gap in towards outside. Now the door being opened, Adam will signal the rotation's over, but the flash has confused him. He thinks that it's going to be a split on towards the A bomb site, but it's instead a one-pronged assault.
Cray still comes up with 2 frags. Fry trades it back. Adams on the mark of the bomb site. Drops that bomb and leaves it all to Eccles. 1 versus 3 for the lone T-side player. He does get a quick peek and headshot and drop down to the vents. I don't think they realize this. Fraser's not in position. The Molotovs will go down. He will give up the ghost. And now in the decontamination room, the bomb plant will come through. It looks like it might be a decon plant. Fraser around that corner, just barely gets away. The spray is awkward, so Eccles a bit of a chance to take a fight back. He opens up the double doors and tries to find a way to work back in. No, Link with a headshot will close it down. Map point for London Esports to try and push us to our third here, Yumi. Fierce have fought valiantly, but the London side are coming up clutch when it's required.
Third map will be Inferno as well if we do end up on that. And what a performance from the likes of London. We've had a pretty back and forth affair between both train. We've had a little bit of a string of rounds between Fierce and London respectively, but now London seemingly getting things going on the CT side. A lot of real good structure in terms of finding those opening kills, and I think if not for that round from Prey, this could have been a lot more of a competitive scoreline, but it's instead a pretty decent separation for London to be able to work with. 6 are needed in a row here from Fierce.
We'll let the first player cross. Cray Howard going to line up so much damage, but not get any of the kills. Both him and Messi will fall as a result. Fraser comes up with a quick trade on the AWP, not knowing the stand is going to be there. We'll switch to the AUG. Flash this man out as Eccles gets a kill on Adam out towards the B bomb site. Knows that he's playing in control room because he's played it every single round so far. He's worked out well for the CT side. They do not want to let him work with it. As Link goes down to the front line, Fraser's last man standing. Fierce Esports going to look to try and stay alive in this one. After double digits now within 5 of overtime.
And they track down Fraser. There's not a lot of money left in the side of London to buy back into this one, so they'll have to concede this following round or go for the half buy as we've once seen successful here on that for their CT side defensive. A timeout will be called. It's going to be the side of London that it's going to take a minute just to relax a little bit. They have this one at least close enough that they could maybe consider it in the bag, but you can't count Fierce out. That was a very explosive round to start that one off, especially in a full gun round, getting that double entry and really going untraded even on the rotations.
Yeah, the tactical for London, deciding whether they want to invest into this round. Have got a few to play with, not many, but a few. Opting to go for the upgraded pistols, but not a massive investment. 2 pieces of Kevlar. 2 pieces of utility. It's Fierce have the A case to play with. You must imagine this will be a victory for them so far in this one. I mean, great use of the nade to do early damage to Dom and Astro. It's not much in the grand scale of things, and already Stanley will respond with a kill on Cray. Fraser comes up with a deagle shot out of the ramp room, so that's a nice entry kill for the CT player. But a 4v4 still remaining in London. Super, super careful about this, as are Fierce. I mean, they've already seen a little bit of teeth being shown in the Deagles. They think it might be a decoy, potentially a Deagle force buy for the London side. They will gain the man advantage eventually. Just try and play extremely carefully again. Playing around the lobby, playing outside. They're actually going to give up that map control to Adam. If they go through lobby right now, this could be disastrous. Eccles does turn around and does adjust, just saving the position for Fierce.
That could have been a devastating position for Adam if he went unchecked. Unfortunately, that's just a fever dream for himself. Messi, last player alive, 4 players to find, and a deagle in hand. If he's able to accomplish a little bit more damage here on that CT side, it'll certainly pay forward. But it's not seeming too likely. I mean, Main, the only player that, or the only position exposed. Ooh, crisp shot towards Astra. Now they're going to take the face, and Fry does line up the trade. So 3 players alive. That's going to be enough to keep the economy at least favorable here for that T side. But now the buy should be reciprocated from London, but they actually need to go for a half buy once more. So this is going to be another round potentially accumulated here for Fierce, but again, it's about damage and whether and how much they can really get accomplished. You can see they're not even investing too heavily because they want that AWP as well as grenades and armor on those respective players.
And a rush towards the outside as well. London going to try and fight Fierce with fire. And they'll fall back. I mean, at least they're going to see a little bit of presence. I mean, that hasn't allowed Stanley to move in. As here the A rush call, or the outside rush call, and takes down Fraser, finds an angle against Messi. Adam goes falling in the interim, and Link also goes down. after the fact. All 5 players stay alive. Nice mop up from the Fierce side. I mean, a good effort from London right there to aggress down Fierce. But in the end, when you have the pistols, you have to land those headshots. You've got to get up close and personal in the face of your opponents. And London Esports just weren't quite doing that there. Fierce kept their distance. They just pushed back. It's like, okay, we'll take these kills instead of going for, response and the same sort of aggression. And that will leave us within 3. London Esports with a bye. That's what that eco was about. That's what the one before was about as well. And the AUGs alongside the AWP will come out to play for the CT Forces. As already Fraser puts that AWP in the ramp position. And the T side of Fierce played just as carefully around the outside controls they have done so far. They've got one player on silo boost to make sure that no one wants to aggress down from the T side, CT side, excuse me. So Asher supports the main force looking towards the outside positions. The flashbangs will finally come over and they will gain a little bit of control of red blocks.
And London have played the same CT side setup almost every single round. Mezzi in that same position towards Garage, and I think if Fierce are expecting this position, that once again it will likely see that wall of smokes in towards main and the Garage respectively. Should mean that London are really denied a lot of information. Dom is even looking for that angle, knowing that Mezzi has played it so frequently in this game, but this is an adaptation. Cray hasn't really gone towards those secret steps before to find that opening kill. Oh, he'll spot out the head of Astro. He does significant damage, eventually tapping him down. That's the bomb spotted as well. Mezzi is able to contribute as well. Stanley trying to trade that frag out in towards outside just to give them a bit more space to breathe, and there it is. He's successful. That's the bomb recovered, and now Fierce can consider reapproaching this round, but 30 seconds are all that remain.
They've got to get this bomb onto the bomb site relatively quickly. Stanley's worked his way into heaven, making a lot of noise, though they surely must know what the play is on the basis of this. Stanley moving up close, spots around towards Hut, takes a lot of damage, but gets the kill. Link trades it back behind blue boxes, gets a second as well, and it's all left to Eccles. It's not going to happen. Cray and Link combined to close it out. 16-12 to London Esports.